Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. According to a report by Lin He Xiaobao, the United Nations International Labor Organization, ILO, has approved the world's first binding international convention designed to protect the rights of digital platform gig workers. Once ratified, the convention will establish essential protections for hundreds of millions of workers globally, including delivery couriers and ride-hailing drivers, covering areas such as occupational safety, health, minimum remuneration, and protection against unfair account suspension. During the vote, the convention received strong support with 406 votes in favor from member states including China, Japan, Germany, and France. However, 8 members, including the United States and New Zealand, voted against it, while 36 others, such as the United Kingdom and India, abstained. The U.S. representative argued that overly rigid rules could stifle innovation in the rapidly evolving digital economy. The convention will officially enter into force globally 12 months after at least 2 countries formally register their ratification. If translated into domestic laws, it will empower individual workers to take legal action against platform companies over labor violations. According to Al Jazeera, an internal investigation by the humanitarian group Doctors Without Borders, MSF, has revealed severe exploitation of Sudanese refugees by its local and foreign staff in Chad. The internal report, completed last July, acknowledged 59 allegations of misconduct, including sexual harassment, exploitation, and abuse. The investigation uncovered egregious incidents where staff members targeted vulnerable individuals, including underage girls, and traded food aid and job opportunities for sex. In one documented case, 7 refugee girls were transported in an MSF vehicle under the pretense of work, only to be taken to another location where they were sexually abused. Many survivors reportedly remained silent during the probe out of fear that speaking up would jeopardize their access to vital aid. In response to the findings, MSF dismissed 18 employees and barred them from future employment. The crisis in Chad has grown as hundreds of thousands of Sudanese flee their country's devastating civil war. MSF, which operates as one of the largest aid organizations in the camps, admitted that its previous prevention and training measures had failed to produce a lasting impact. According to a report by the Epoch Times, the Taiwanese army recently conducted a live-fire military exercise on its central coast, firing 32 rockets from the U.S.-made HIMARS, High Mobility Artillery Rocket System. Notably, this exercise was directed towards the Chinese mainland rather than the Pacific Ocean, which was the norm in past tests. Experts view this as a significant deterrent signal to Beijing and a major shift in Taiwan's defense strategy. Military experts point out that the drill demonstrates Taiwan's transition from a defensive beachhead engagement approach to a source deterrence strategy. Armed with tactical missiles capable of striking targets up to 300 kilometers away, Taiwan now has the capacity to counter Chinese forces in Fujian before they cross the strait. Additionally, the highly mobile nature of HIMARS aligns with Taiwan's porcupine strategy, enhancing asymmetric warfare capabilities. While Beijing dismissed the drill as bluffing, observers note that the CCP is deeply concerned about HIMARS, as shown by its focus on targeting the system in its own simulated drills. According to a report by the Epoch Times, investment bank Goldman Sachs has lowered its average price forecast for Brent crude oil in 2027 to $80 per barrel. The bank cited robust supply growth alongside persistent demand weakness as the primary drivers for the revision. Key oil-producing countries, including the United States, Brazil, Guyana, Venezuela, and the United Arab Emirates, continue to increase production. Conversely, global structural demand is shifting, particularly in China. Goldman Sachs analysts noted that China's accelerating energy transition, combined with economic deflation and domestic weakness, has led to a projected decline in its crude oil demand by over 10% compared to previous estimates. While the bank forecasts Brent crude to average around $90 per barrel in the fourth quarter of 2026, it warned of potential volatility driven by geopolitical risks. For instance, prolonged disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz could push prices to 110 prapirs, or CED, or $120 per barrel by 2027. Conversely, if supply normalizes quickly amid weak demand, prices could plunge to $70 in late 2026 and hit $60 in 2027, at which point non-OPEC plus supply would comfortably meet global needs. According to a report by TaiSounds, a senior European Union official has confirmed that China secretly trained hundreds of Russian military personnel within its borders, with some of these forces subsequently deployed to the front lines in Ukraine. This marks a significant escalation in Beijing's direct military support for Moscow, challenging China's public stance of neutrality. Reports indicate the training occurred in multiple locations across China, including military facilities in Beijing and Nanjing. Under a bilateral agreement signed in July 2025, Russian personnel received training in drone operations, electronic warfare, military aviation, and armored warfare. European intelligence has already tracked some of these trained personnel deploying to Russian-occupied Crimea and Zaporizhzhia to operate drones on the battlefield. This development comes as the EU prepares to resume discussions on Ukraine's membership bid and evaluate the bloc's relations with Beijing, focusing heavily on reducing defense industry dependence on Chinese supply chains. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.